hopefully, like this. Hopefully the stream won't be choppy. I did change some settings, and I actually did a bit of content earlier today on today earlier a couple of minutes ago, doing like a dungeon and whatever. So obviously like it was CPU intensive and whatever. I mean, last week and the week before, I think it was, or the previous time, anyways, every time I would do a Rift lore video, it would just be super choppy at some point in the middle. So yeah, I changed some settings before doing that earlier stream with that dungeon and whatever. It seemed alright. There was no choppiness. So I mean, it's not my internet because my internet is brilliantly fast. It's most likely not my computer because it's a beast, and it's most likely not like OBS or whatever. So it's either the game and I don't think it's my internet. Did I already say that? I don't know. So it must be either the game, and I do know that Rift is very CPU intensive and it's very laggy at times. I mean, obviously, I wasn't laggy when I was playing last week. Um, I wasn't playing anyways. I was just standing in place. But I mean, I didn't see when I was looking at the background, like behind my text and whatever. Like I didn't see any choppiness. So, but I do know that Rift is very CPU intensive. I've lagged a lot in this game, like crazy. Um, during raids, especially like I would get to like 10 FPS. It was fucking insane. Still managed to raid correctly, but yeah, it would get pretty intensive. But anyways, like I said, like it's either the game or Twitch itself. So I don't know. I'm just hoping it doesn't do it right now. In any case, hello, welcome, and today we're talking about the River Souls, or so-called the Soulstream. So right now I'm standing inside of the River of Souls raid. Um, it's it's beautiful, like I said. I mean, this is the sky that greets you when you enter the River of Souls. Here I am. That's the entrance right there, and here I am. And then if you look around, you've got a whole bunch of amazingness, of deathness, and dragons, and ghosties, and wisps, and shit like that. Anyways, so that right there is the River of Souls. Um, what the River of Souls is. So the River of Souls is basically a realm of existence. Conveniently, I see it on my screen right there with the text. But yeah, so basically, the River of Souls is a realm of existence that's located. It's not a realm, sorry. It's a material thing that exists on the plane of death. And the plane of death is I don't know if you remember uh, last month or two, I did a video on the cosmic representation of you know, of the realms around Telara. How, you know, Telara is at the nexus of many planes, right? So you've got the plane of fire, the plane of death, the plane of life, the plane of air, the plane of did I say life? In any case, so there's a whole bunch of planes that are around Telara, and I mean Telara is kind of like the sun in our universe, and how you know, it's at the center of the universe for us. We go around the sun. Well, in this case, it would kind of be like if you go in Meridian and you go up to Orpheal's um, tower, there's a representation sorry, not up, it's at like somewhere in the middle of the tower. Go through each level of Orpheal's tower, but basically there's a maquette. I don't remember what the word is in English, but there's basically like one of the levels has a representation of the planes around, like twirling, not twirling, but circulating around Telara, the planet. So basically, yes. So the plane of death has a material called the River of Souls, or the Soulstream, where basically the dead souls of soldiers, of magicians, and whatever, like the dead souls, right? So the dead souls are drawn to the plane of death, and join into this River of Souls. What's interesting is that the raid, the River of Souls, is centered around Alsbeth, who went into the River of Souls. So she ported somehow to the plane of death, which is Regulos' realm, right? Because he's the dragon of death, he's the dragon of destruction. It's his realm. Um, Now, I'm personally not sure when like the dragons departed from their realms, right? From their planes. But it does seem like um maybe it might have been a long time ago. And I do remember reading in one of the many researches that I did was that there's there seems to have been in the plains like a kind of rivalry. Sorry, there might have been some rivalry between like the 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 entities that would live there, besides the dragons that uh managed to make it to the actual like big ass motherfucker dragons that they became. Because the thing is that um, we're not quite sure of the onset, like how the dragons came to be. Like, is it the chicken or the egg, right? We're not quite sure, but there seems to have been some references in lore and some quests or whatnot that the dragons that we know of, like Regulos and Crucia and so on, the dragons themselves um, were not as powerful in the begin. Like they were not born that way. Okay, so they became that way somehow, and it seems like the planes themselves, because they became more powerful than the other dragons. Because yes, there are other dragons. Like if you quest through Telara, then you'll find there's a whole bunch of dragons that are invading from whatever plane they come from. And those are, dragons that the dragons we know of, Regulos and Malforge and so on, those dragons with capital D's, sorry for that. So the dragons with those capital D's, they used to be the regular dragons that we see while questing, and the invasions that we see. So how they became big ass motherfucker dragons, we don't know. But it does seem like the planes kind of, because they were singling themselves out, like becoming more powerful than the others somehow. The planes kind of infused them with their powers of, for example, like life creation for Greenscale, and air magic for Crucia, and so on. So like the planes kind of gave the dragons, capital D's, their powers. Anyway, so I'm kind of diverting from the subject I'm supposed to be talking about tonight. But so yeah, the River of Souls is located, as far as I remember, is located on the plane of death, and it's one of the planes that are circulating around Telara. And on the plane of death, there is a River of Souls where the souls of dead people or beings, because it's not just humans or elves or whatever that die, but also like other elemental beings, um, you know, other entities. So like animals, for example, all of those souls, they go into the River of Souls, and Alsbeth went to the River of Souls um, when she was still um, when she was still Regulus's first commander, I'd say. When she was still under his command, she went there to kind of try to usurp power from him. Not power, but to usurp an army from him. So he kind of told her to get there, but at the same time, she decided to kind of fork into a different direction and form her own army. So, kind of, double playing Regulos in some way, which is very dangerous because, I mean, fuck, don't you know your master? He's the dragon of destruction. He's the dragon of fucking death. Why would you do that? Whatever. She got, her head was full. She got a big head. She decided she was better than him. Whatever. But anyways, in any case, she tried to become somebody that she wanted to be. Anyway, so let us read. I will drink. All right. When they die, every Telaran spirit is swept up into the comforting embrace of the Soulstream, a cosmic river of intermingling souls, drifting along through the ether between the planes of death and life. Okay, so it wasn't exactly on the plane of death, but it's between, right? Between the planes of death and life. So, as you can see, this river here, at some point, like either this way or that way, there would be the plane of life, right? Because we are currently on a plane of death, but somehow it also joins with the plane of life. So we don't know in which direction, but somewhere, somehow, there's the plane of life. So either here or there. We don't know. Stop looking at my girl. All right? So, transcending dimensions, right. Though he corrupted the plane of death to serve his whims, Regulus was never able to influence the soul stream. So even though it's his plane, right, because it's between the two planes, he doesn't have direct power over the soul stream. It's on his domain, but he doesn't have like access to it necessarily because it's something that joins between life and death, right? It's kind of like a ghostly appearance when you go into the soul stream. So your spirit becomes um transcends and goes up into this river. And like it's not undeath necessarily, but it's not life either. So it's kind of like the spirit form that he has no access to. Or this was the case until priests began getting racked with visions of souls howling in agony, torn too soon from this celestial river. Um, until priests began getting racked with visions of souls howling in agony. Such was the case of Asha Katari, tempted and tortured by Regulus himself in the plane of life, like right here, right? So he brought her to this place when he was sent away from Telara. So basically, after all the dragons were bound, he was never bound. He was pushed out and locked out because there was a ward, right? So there was the ward that kept him from re-entering to Lara, and he was trying by any means possible. And in this case, Asha died during the battle to get to Lara rid of dragons. So he got access to her soul before she was drawn into the River of Souls. So he decided to torture her, and because he knew that she was a very powerful soul, he decided to try to get her to become one of his higher ranking generals and commanders and whatever. And in some way, it kind of came to be. I mean, so Alsbeth was his commander up until that point, but because he got access to Asha, who's to know that he wouldn't have pushed Alsbeth out of the picture and brought Asha as his more powerful, quote unquote, or replacement for Alsbeth. And considering that Alsbeth and Asha have a very storied past where they were students at the same school and were frenemies slash mostly enemies, um, you kind of get the picture that maybe Alsbeth got wind of that decision by Regulos and decided to double play Regulos. Anyways, let's get back to the story. Um, yes, so he tempted and tortured her and plucked her from the soul stream to find life again through magitech. Oh, right, sorry, no. It's such was the case of Asha Katari. So she was tempted and tortured by Regulos and then she was plucked from the Soulstream by Orpheal to find life again through Magitech that he, Orpheal, had created. Excuse me for that. Alsbeth the Discorded found her way to the edge of the plane of death and gained control of a titanic device called a soul cipher. Now, if you'll remember in my previous stream, I talked about, like, please give me information about the Titans, because we don't really know too much. All we know is they were present in Stonefield, but I don't remember the quest line, and there isn't much information out there about the Titans in Rift. There's a lot of information about Titans in WoW, but not in Rift. I would love to get to know more about the Titans in Rift, because they're very, like, they're very rarely mentioned, and they're like the biggest part of their lore is in Stonefield and in River of Souls. That's it. So a Titanic device called a Soul Cipher that granted her access to the Soul Stream and to draw forth any soul she liked. She used the machine to create an army of the dead led by the revived spirit of the fallen king Adraxis. So if you'll remember during the big shade war, there was King Adraxis versus his brother Zareth. Um, Adraxis kind of became the Quirrell of the Rift universe, where Regulos inhabited Adraxis's body. So I mean, maybe you don't get the Harry Potter reference, but yeah, Quirrell was the professor in the first book, right? I think the Philosopher's Stone, if I remember correctly, where Quirrell was basically possessed by Voldemort. So it's kind of the same thing. Um, led by the revived spirit of the fallen king Adraxis that she was eager to find to unleash upon Telara as death touched minions of Regulos. So she wanted all the people that died during the Shade War to be revived and fight for her. So she wanted to create her own army to kind of double play Regulos. It seemed death would offer no rest to the peoples of Telara, as they would be damned to endlessly be plucked from the river, and neither gods nor machines would have souls to draw upon for a purer ascension. Right. So basically, if you remember your lore, the gods of the Vigil, they don't. They only use dead souls to resurrect, right? So they don't use any machinery, they don't use any magitech, they just revive dead souls. In this case, if Alsbeth had succeeded in her attempt to basically rip all the souls from the soul stream, she would have basically given the Vigil and the Defiance no souls to draw upon to ascend beings. So it's especially problematic for the Vigil, because they basically use dead souls. For Defiance, I mean, they kind of rip souls from the soul stream with magic. But for the Vigil, they would just basically ascend dead beings, kind of like angels. So I mean, both ways use dead spirits, right? So all the spirits from the River of Souls would be drawn into ascended beings. Reconnect the dead souls to their ascended counterpart. But yeah, so if Alsbeth had succeeded, she would have basically rid the River of Souls of any soul that the Vigil or the Defiance would have needed to ascend to create new ascended beings. Um, so the soul stream itself even began to appear pale and sickly. It seemed the age of dragons would be nothing compared to Alsbeth's unleashed horde. Somewhere in the River of Souls hides the shriveled spirit of King Adraxus, whom Alsbeth yearns to return to Telara. Yet these wretches were nothing to what Alsbeth was truly after, the most valuable souls in the river. Warmaster Galanir served as her lieutenant and bodyguard, keeping interlopers from interrupting her work. Unwilling to risk losing control over the River of Souls, Regulos sent his herald, Gorath, to watch over the operation. However, the Ascended did prevail against all odds. Once Plutonus was eradicated, the faction leaders approached to inspect the Titanic device, and as usual had very different ideas regarding its purpose. So they're talking about Asha and Cyril, I think, right? Yeah. All right. So Asha, she says, excellent whenever you actually finish the raid. She says, excellent work, Defiant. With the Dark Architect dead, the magic protecting this device is fate. Sorry, it's not after Alsbeth. It's when you kill the Dark Architect, Plutonus. Excuse me. The magic protecting this device is fading. We can begin our analysis immediately. Fascinating. This machine is scanning the entire Soulstream. Specific souls are being identified and sorted. This device would have allowed the Endless to fish out any soul they wish. Yeah, so they would have been able to fish out any of the most powerful. Like Alsbeth really wanted the most powerful, but she also wanted like you know, the most regular of regular soldiers or peasants or whatever. She also wanted to resurrect them, but she was really after the most powerful souls. She really wanted like King Adraxus and Iliam, I think she resurrected already, but like any powerful being she wanted resurrected to serve her, not Regulos. I mean, in some way, Regulus probably thought that Alsbeth was doing it for him, but in many ways, she wanted to do it for herself. She wanted to create her own army to, take over. Cyril says, "Step away from that foul machine, Asha." A means Asha. The soul cipher can be turned against Regulus. We can use it to resurrect more heroic souls. We can ascend those who've been lost to us. Cyril, it is not for us to decide that. We have all lost someone in this apocalypse, but to return them as a monster, blasphemy. So this part really talks about Zareth specifically. So there's a lot of rumors in the like back when Rift was first launched that Asha and Zareth kind of had a thing going. Some people say Alsbeth as well and Zareth, but in many references that I saw, I'm not sure if it's still canon, but in like before the game launched, there was a lot of references of Asha and Zareth kind of having a thing going on. Like it wasn't represented as such, but it was kind of like okay, there might be something deeper than just friendship going on. So that line about we can ascend those who've been lost to us. We can use it to resurrect more heroic souls. She's kind of referencing Zareth as well. She's kind of talking about bringing that guy Zareth back. Yeah, so in the next line that she speaks, she says, "We could resurrect Zareth, Cyril. Our king could be returned." There you go. I didn't even read that line when I was talking about Zareth earlier, but yeah. Cyril, Zareth, you would tempt me with my liege, my king, my friend? No, there has already been the miracle of ascension. It is not for the likes of us to repeat. So again, this is talking about, Cyril is much more about, the pure, the vigil, the holy. He's really like ah, about the gods. And he does not believe like that's basically Asha and Cyril really represent their factions super well because she's talking about like, hey, look at all we can do, and he's like, no, I will do only my god's bidding. Asha, he was the best of us, Cyril. What is the logic in keeping the most powerful soul in the history of Telara lost in the Soulstream? What gives you, Cyril, what gives you the right to play God? No, Asha, I will not fall to this temptation. na, 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 na. The vigil has shown me the path. I will not deviate from it, not even for Zareth. Asha, then you walk as a blind fool. This is exactly why you and your gods will fail, Cyril. You abandon this opportunity out of ignorance. Cyril, he's pissed. Look around you, Asha. Is your ego so great you cannot see where this all leads? You would damn Zareth to an eternity as an abomination? I would rather be blind in the light of the vigil than to stumble in the darkness you have chosen. By the vigil, I purge this evil from the Soulstream. Then he breaks the soul cipher mechanism. Asha, and one more hope for Telara falls. Cyril, take your heretics and leave this place, Asha. Asha? No, Cyril. We choose to stay. There is still work to be done here, and if you will not get out of our way, then I will make you. Cyril becomes attackable, and the Defiance can take some swings at him, but he isn't killable, as Asha kicks him into a portal where he is then teleported away. And Asha says that should buy you the time you need. Find Alsbeth, Defiance. Today we finish where the gods have failed. So yeah, I like this exchange because it shows the quintessential Defiant and Guardian natures, opportunity, and dare we say carelessness of the Defiance, and cautiousness and doggedness of the Guardians. As someone who always tries to see both sides of the argument, it's interesting to read this text because you kind of want to root for both of them. I like my father's a lawyer, so I always kind of grew up with like this dichotomy of both, like, must see both sides of the argument, and it sometimes pisses off people because they think I'm arguing against them, and then I'm like, no, but look, I believe you, but at the same time, look, there's another side. Anyways, yeah, so they're both right in their own respects. Why not test the machine? Why use the machine to essentially play even more God than the Defiants already do with their machine-born ascended? In some ways, this scene is extremely relevant even in real life, with cloning and genetic modifications, and sometimes I find myself rooting for both sides, even knowing either side is both right and wrong. So, like, GMOs, for example, I believe in them, and yet I also very much believe in the argument against GMOs. So I even though I know that it's ungodly to kind of recreate fruits and vegetables and all that stuff, on the other hand, I also see the good side of GMOs because they create like stronger crops, they create bigger fruits, for example, they create like more fruitful crops. I already said that. Um, but in any case, it's a strength to have GMOs, and yet I also see the other side of the argument of like, what the fuck. Anyways, moral of the story: don't play God and don't be too straight-laced, I guess. And just back on the GMOs thing, I mean, I shop at Costco, so like I said, I kind of feel like super bad whenever I go to Costco and buy like their strawberries, for example. They're huge, and I know they're not real. I know they're GMOs. I know they're not like regular crops do not turn out that way. I mean, I come from Quebec, and we have wild strawberries here, so I see what strawberries is supposed to look like. They're not supposed to be like huge like this. So, but on the other hand, I kind of, whenever I see them, I'm like, oh my God, manna from heaven. They're so huge. They're so big. Oh my God. And, at the same time, it's like, well, some of them are not that tasty. But in any case, like, it's a weird argument to have, like, for GMOs and for the Guardian versus Defiant argument. I see both sides. I kind of side towards the Defiant side more, and that's why I have more Defiant characters. Um, but yeah, so anyways, change of subject. Interestingly, when the Ascended kill Alsbeth in the River of Souls, Regulus reveals that as much as he seduced and empowered her as his second in command, he doesn't give a damn. And it's kind of heartbreaking to watch him basically brush her off as just a means to an end. She gave everything for him. She even gave, I mean, she kind of gave her life. You know, now that I think about it, realistically, it reads a lot like an abusive relationship. Minus the crawling back to say sorry every time. Sorry. Lately, I've been watching a lot of Handmaid's Tale. If you know what it is, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of rape um and like excuses afterwards and like gifting at after the rape. And I was reading a lot about it. I've personally never been raped, really. It's just a matter of like yeah, I've never been raped, so I don't know what the experience is like, and that's why like when I started watching Handmaid's Tale, I started like researching about it. You know, I've had a lot of Me Too moments, but like I said, never rape. It was just like a lot of emotional abuse that I got, and you know, when I was reading about the a lot of the rape victims, what they experienced, a lot of them would get like a whole bunch of, you know, the physical abuse, and then after that there would be like the abuser would gift them with something to kind of make up for what they did to their victim. Because a lot of times rape victims actually know their abuser. So yeah, it's a whole bunch, it's a whole cycle of like, oh, abuse, and oh, I'm sorry, oh, abuse, and oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, it kind of feels like that for Alsbeth and Regulos, where I mean, it happened only once, but he emotionally abused her in the way that he used her to get to where he is. And yeah, to kind of see that relationship play out at the end of the raid, it really feels like shit, man. She thought she had it going, but he never gave her an ounce. He just pretended, and it really gets to me. Like, it's heartbreaking to watch at the end. Anyways, so what he says is, sorry, I need water for this. So what he says is, I will enjoy devouring her soul. I will savor in her torment for 1,000 years. Do you feel that this was a victory ascended? You achieved nothing. Alsbeth played her part well. She has kept you busy for longer than I expected, but you have been my most valued lackey, Ascended. I suspect you will be for years to come. Now struggle against my treacherous siblings. Keep your little world safe as my prize. Fight your battles, Ascended, but know that every step on your road to victory is a step closer to my return. And yeah, so it's that's when it starts to become pretty clear that perhaps we're not doing ourselves much of a favor by killing off those that would be the only ones capable of ridding us of him, namely Alsbeth. So if she had lived somehow, she could have like hearing like the treachery that he did. She might, if she had lived, she might have turned against him and joined us in ridding us of him. And for example, you know, if we had I don't know, like we're binding the other dragons uh away, and we're preventing ourselves from having some aid and push in ridding us of ourselves of him. So who could have helped rid us of him? Alsbeth, the other dragons, Krusha especially. She really wanted to get rid of all of the other dragons. Um, yeah, it would have been like we wouldn't have seen him again if you know, if Alsbeth had lived after hearing the betrayal uh of Regulos. Anyways, we find out later, not in vanilla, I'm so sorry I'm jumping ahead, that as we killed Lathis and Greenscale, Regulus absorbed their souls. I think we learn about that in Starfall Prophecy, actually. Um, or sorry, no, we might have learned that during Storm Legion. So I think. Yeah, so it was in Storm Legion. So in Storm Legion, we learn that Regulus absorbed Lathis and Greenscale's powers. So those two dragons are most likely, like, definitely dead. Okay, so Lathis, Greenscale, no bueno. They're dead. Because Regulus absorbed their souls. So in that case, there can be no resurrection of the dragons because we learn later on that dragons can transfer their powers to lesser dragons. So dragons, capital D, they can transfer their powers uh, in death. So when they die, they create motes, and those motes can be absorbed by another dragon so that the power can be absorbed. The basically the absorbee would have their own power, but also that one's power. So basically, Lathis and Greenscale, if their power had been absorbed by one of their lesser dragons, because as I said, like there's other dragons besides the dragons with capital D's in their planes. So if you go to the plane of life, there's other dragons of life. If you go to the plane of Earth, there's other dragons with the powers of the Earth. They're just lesser. Um, yeah, so when we learned that when dragons die, their energy disperses as motes. So he absorbed Lathis and Greenscale's powers, um, making himself even more powerful. But we don't really hear about him again until Storm Legion, and this is definitely beyond the subject of the source of the Soulstream, so we'll leave it at that. For now, I kind of wanted to run you guys through this raid. I know that on Prime, I think it's still already out, this raid. Whoops. So, I'm overpowered. We'll still do it. Right? Huh. I kind of feel not as powerful as last time I did this. Anyways. Yay, I get more rep for the Order of Mathos. Awesome. Alright, so we don't need, excuse me. We do not need this anymore. Yee.
You fight the inevitable assembly.
Ah, there we go. There's Alsbeth.
I draw more servants from the Soulstream.
Ah. Okay, so there's no markers on the map to say like where bosses are, but I think there's one. Fuck off. There. Where would the first boss be? I don't remember. We'll just have to go through this place. There may be one on top.
All of the souls that pass from Telara are tribute to my lord, Regulos. All death makes him stronger.
Oh, I thought there was supposed to be something here, like an orb or something. Alright, so first boss is like over there, I think. Alright, let's go. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm macroing everything. Alright. He Money! Okay, so if I remember correctly, I do believe that the first boss is up there. Over yonder. Yeah, Gallinier. So remember in this text, I was talking about a War Master Gallinier being one of her one of Alsbeth's bodyguards. Yeah. Test them, my servants, see if they are worthy of facing me. Meh. Alright, let's do this. Ta-da! Hello. Oh, fuck off. Oops. Oh, fuck. What? How am I dying?
Another soul for
Ah!
Regulos.
What happened? Festering infection. Huh. Okay. Interesting. I've done this before, that's for sure. Anyways, I guess I'll kill the sentinels here. How am I dying from old content, man? This is embarrassing. Alright. Yeah. Yeah? Fuck off. Seriously. Oops.
You have tested my servants. You will find that I will not fall as easily as they have ascended.
Are we ready? Yeah. Iron Golem. Golem. Alright, let's do this. Hopefully I don't die this time. Right? Hey, that's going a lot easier than before. Oh, fuck. He's a fucking werewolf. I never saw that. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. What?
His soul will be consumed by Regulos.
What did I die from? Yeah, the festering infection again. Lol. Well, at least I died before that. That's hilarious. Right, you cannot mount here. That's right. And... yeah, let's go fast. Hey, look at that. Statues. Okay. I think the next boss is, like, pretty harsh, too. Where's that boss? Cable is? No, 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 it's not this. But let's do these because I think they're in the way. Alright. Discordant Knight. Where is the other boss? Oh. Oh dear. There we go. Phew! I'm huge. What does that do? Okay, I'm not huge anymore. I have no idea about this. I never raided during this era. Not this. Where's the other boss? I already did this, okay. Blah. Discordant Knight, no.
Look at how we corrupt and twist the souls of the fallen. Those that are not devoured serve me.
It's been a while since I even ran like the chronicle for this, so that's why I'm super lost and don't know where to go. Okay. Oops. I need to go over here. Okay. So, like... What's here? Harold Goroth. Trying to remember, so I think I have to go here.
Regulos grows stronger each day, and soon he shall tear the ward asunder.
Oops. Sorry. That's Plutonus. Ah, well, I guess I can do him. Alright, yellow! Oh dear, that hurted a bit. Oh, ouch. Oh, ouch. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oof! I made it! Yeah, I think if I wasn't 70, I think I would have died there. Oof. Right, so Gorath is somewhere. I just can't fucking find him.
Knowledge of machines was second only to that scheming
Where is
fool.
Gorath? Must be around here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I use the Way of the Sun for self-heals. Oh, there's Gorath. There we go. Haha. Found you. Yeah, sneaky, dragony dick. So as you can see, like all these figures are actually Mythosians that that died specifically during the Shade War. So yeah, so these are all, most of them anyways, are like the knights. These guys that you could see before, they're Mythosians. So it's kind of sad, and that's why like Regulos was really after like Alsbeth was really after like resurrecting an army of for herself, and it would have been mostly Mythosians. Oh. Oh dear.
Believe yourselves, powerful ascendants? You have only bested a pile of bones! What great heroes you are!
She is always taunting this lady. You have only bested a pile of bones. What great heroes you are. So Gorath, another one of her hold back Cyril. So she's always taunting and wanting to finish her task. So right now we are going to see the oh shit, the dark foci. Okay, I need one more of those focuses. Shit. Okay, where can I find a dark focus? so let's see. Can I find a focus around here somewhere? Okay, this is where we started. Okay. Now let's see if I can find a dark focus somewhere. Because the thing is, if I don't do the dark focus, there was one. Woo. All right. Yes. So now we can do Alsbeth. Now we can kill her. Okay. Probably best not to jump here, eh? Fucking hell. Let's do it the safe way. How about that? Let's go over here.
The power that I have gathered is beyond your imagination, Ascended.
Yeah, she just keeps taunting. The power that I have is better than yours. Uh-huh. It's better than yours. Okay, so we gotta go over here.
How long have you fools chased me? All of your efforts have been in vain.
They're still coming. There's Alsbeth. Alright. Now, for Alsbeth. So this is her. We've seen her before, but I just wanted you to have a closer look. That's her, right there. Alsbeth the Discordant. Anyways, that's that. Let's try to kill her.
I should have killed you long ago. I will remedy that mistake now.
Grave Bolt. She's a necromancer. Oh my god, I forgot my rotation. Oh. Oh, there we go. That's Regulos talking. I will find a more worthy servant.
For the power of the Soulstream myself. Such power!
you're not supposed to attack her when she's got that shield up. Yeah. Seems like I found her out. Found her tell. Oh, I did it. Woo! Right, so that's what he says.
This was a victory ascended. You achieve nothing.
Is he even there?
Alsbeth
No, he's not there.
well. She has kept you busy for longer than I expected. But you have been my most valued lackey ascended. I suspect you will be for years to come. Now struggle against my treacherous siblings. Keep your little world safe as my prize. Fight your battles ascended, but know that every step on your road to victory is a step closer to my return.
And indeed, he does return. So, that's that for her. Eh, what did I get? Ooh. I got a dagger. Looks pretty neat. I already had the appearance though, but yeah. So you get some pretty neat loot. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little lore tale. And next week I will be busy on Friday. It is my sister's birthday, but you know, just wish her a happy birthday, I guess, because I will. But yeah, so I will not be available for Rift lore, so for Telara Tales I won't be able to do, but I will try to do it the week after. And in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked it, drop me a sub, etc. I'm very uncomfortable doing that stuff. Yeah, like and subscribe, blah blah blah. In any case, just I'll see you guys next time. Next bit is probably going to be about Hammernell, reconquering Hammernell, about the dwarves and you know, the Achilleos problem inside of Hammernell, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys next time. See ya, toodaloo.